Matthews. I'm a professor of leadership and history at the University of Puget Sound. I would have to say, because I've had so many changes in my career. So I started in banking. I was in the finance industry, and then from that became a historian. So then I'd be a historian the rest of my life. And then I took a job at a business school, and they asked me to teach leadership. So then I became a leadership scholar, and then I was doing leadership consulting work on the side. And then I helped found a game studio, and I'm still a professor. If I think though about if I wasn't going to do any of those again, I'm pretty confident I would be a high school teacher. That was always my backup plan, that if I couldn't find a job after my banking job, that I would teach history for the rest of my life. My dad was career military, so I traveled around the world a lot. My mom's German. And so I think my experience about moving a lot as a kid makes you open-minded and make it easier for you to make connections and to be more adaptive. And I think it also makes you more curious about different places because you've seen different places and how it's changed you. I think from my father specifically, it's about work ethic. And I think seeing his work ethic is what through osmosis came from me. Well, this is what one does, is you work hard at what you're doing. And it's similar to my mom, I would say, but also my mom was an avid reader, especially history. She didn't go to college. But I always found from her the love of learning at the same time. Then that led me to this path in terms of academia and history in particular. I think I wish somebody, a teacher or one of my parents, would have just repeatedly say to me, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes in your life. And whether it's personal or professional, you are just gonna make some bad decisions. But that's normal. And so don't freak out when you make a bad decision. And when you make mistakes, that's not truly the test of your character, because that's the normal part. But what's not normal is necessarily how people respond to the mistakes. And so if I make a mistake at work, that it's almost to be predictable that something would happen, just not knowing when or where, and that admit your mistake, right? Make amends for your mistake, learn from your mistake, and try to learn from other people's mistakes. And I think because that was not ingrained in my head, when I do make mistakes, I take it harder than I should, and I maybe don't make the most out of a mistake that it provides you as an opportunity. So I really wish someone would have told me that. I certainly would say, and this can be broad and universal, is there's great research by Angela Duckworth on the concept of grit. And the idea that the two pillars of a person with grit is that there's the passion, the commitment, the dedication, and the persistence for the endurance of doing it. So we know that people who are largely successful in life, there is predictive power, that it's not necessarily the smartest person in the room, or in the case of, say, in the military, the fittest person in the room, but it's the person who has the commitment and the tenacity to stick with it, that those people are going to be your stars at the end of the day. If I'm taking on a new book project, there's a kind of a cliche, if you ever knew how long it would take you to write this book, you would never start it to begin with. But now that I've lived through that, I've come to an understanding of, while that might be true in hindsight, you didn't know how hard it was going to be. But if you're picking a topic you're really committed to, right, that you're really passionate about, you can endure it and see it through the 5 years or the 10 years, or in the last book's case, the 14 years, that you will get the satisfaction of getting there eventually. I think, as cliche as it might sound, I think the key is what taps your intrinsic motivation. So what really makes you happy? And the science of motivation, there's included that, and different kinds of intrinsic motivation are for different people. And so in an organization, not everybody might have the exact same intrinsic motive, but that doesn't mean you all can't be pointed in the same direction. So some people are really affiliators. Really, their relationships with other people is really what drives them to work hard, gives them purpose. Other people are oriented around achievement, and that what really drives them is that sense of accomplishment, that I've done that. And then other people are often motivated by a sense of power and need for power. They want to make decisions. They want to take on responsibility. And all those people can be in the same organization around this broader concept of, we have a broader mission of which we all support, But in terms of our individual purposes, what drives us, it's okay that we're different. We just need to find our particular place within the organization where I can do those things that make me happy. And we all can be happy for different reasons because we're working towards the same ultimate goal. And I think for me, the purpose goal should always be driven around the benefit of other people. So I work at an organization where our prime mission is to help other people become better people. And that can be in a for-profit situation as much as a nonprofit situation. So I think it's up to the leadership to articulate this broader purpose of helping other people and then understanding what makes us happy from a purpose level individually at the same time.